Exactly, everybody. Hey, it is Drinks with Dee Dee.
And John.
Where's your drink?
And here are our drinks.
There you go.
Cheers.
Yeah, we can't just talk about it. We got.
That's
By the
true.
way, these are wonderful glasses that we got on Main Street in Madison, Indiana, right? From our lovely neighbor. You want to thank her for me? Here, thank her.
You know, Miss Rhonda.
Thank you, Miss Rhonda.
Threads.
I feel underdressed.
And
Gilligan.
the professor too.
We were just at a.
No, not the professor too. Gilligan.
The skipper too. The millionaire and his wife. The movie star, the old one.
And the rest.
The new one, the Professor and Mary Ann, here on Gilligan's Island.
Now, we're in a desert, so there's no water around, other than, like, at the Bellagio with the fountain and other things. But we are in the Vegas area. We're having a ball. It is so warm, so nice. Oh. It's just perfect.
Remember last week? Was it last week or 2 weeks?
Oh, boy.
2 weeks ago. Last week we were in Winslow. This week we're in Vegas, and 2 weeks ago when we were home at Madison, you could see our breath. And it wasn't because I hadn't brushed my teeth.
Well, it was cold everywhere, and John was such a good driver. He got us out of that just in time. And we touched upon that last week.
Like Gilligan.
But boy, did we. John just did a great job.
Well, I had a wonderful navigator. Dee Dee pointed me in the right direction. And one time I got turned around on Route 66, okay? Route 66 goes east-west. Well, arguably at one point it does go north.
But when you get into the exit, it's a little confusing because you've got the main road, you've got that road, you've got all the roundabouts here and there.
Yeah, right after last week's podcast, I went the wrong way.
But it was all good.
Oh, well.
And then we got the RV washed.
Thank God.
Beautiful.
It was so full of salt and dirt and mud and soot and yuck.
And they did a great job. It was right there in Winslow.
They did, yeah. So if you're an RVist, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to go through the truck wash. Okay, they know exactly what they're doing. The thing's 45 feet long. I think it was $106, something like that, $103. But they washed it, they debugged it, they dried it, and then they sent us on
in a very short period of time.
Yeah, there were four guys working on it. So if I'd done it, I'd still be trying to do it, and there would be streaks and things.
So we made it at Vegas, plenty of time.
Had a wonderful time. With our Hot Wheels and all of our folks at the convention. We got to hang out again. Haven't seen Eric Estrada in a while. Hung out with Eric. Saw Larry briefly. Hung out with Tom and Catherine. And Wopat was in rare form.
He was a lot of fun.
The night of the banquet. Oh, my God.
We've all had those long dinners. And I told John, I said, if not for Tom, I don't think I would have made it. I mean, I just couldn't sit there.
It was wonderful.
Still long enough.
The people were wonderful.
Great. It's just long.
It was one of those things where everybody was there. Everybody's important, but they wanted to recognize everybody and give everybody a chance to speak. And I don't know if you know this or not, but even at the Academy Awards, they have a timer that will beep, and then like 10 seconds after that, it'll turn your microphone
off. The music
will even if you the music will come up and the microphone will go down, even if you just won Best Picture. The timer doesn't care. But in things like this, no timer, and people are so grateful. And it was really quite wonderful.
But Tom Wopat, I have to say thank you, Tom, because without you, I would not have gotten through. It was just too long for me. And because we had a day full of events, and then it went on and on and on and on. Not saying it was for a good cause, and people weren't serving, but it was just long. And this is a niche that
up with that?
You know more about it, about the Hot Wheels and all that.
I used to have a whole box, couple of boxes of Hot Wheels. And Tony had Hot Wheels too. He said he had like 500.
Wow.
Yeah.
Holy moly.
And he gave them away to a family member.
Oh, and that's sweet.
So if you know who you are, family member, no pressure from Uncle Tony. Give them back. He wants to play with them.
So we had the opportunity to stay at the Trump Tower.
We did.
International Tower. And it was lovely. We had a beautiful suite. We were able to see the sphere from our suite and a lot of
You probably saw that posted on Facebook. Had the smiley face. It had all that stuff.
It was fun.
Pretty darn cool. And that thing is bright at night, certainly, but it's bright in the daytime. I have no idea how in the world they're managing to do that. If you haven't been to Vegas, there's some things that if you do come, you should try. If you have children, you got as delightfully, wonderfully old school tacky as it is. You've got to go to Circus. You just have to. The kids, I think kids, even kids today who are, so used to their phones and all that kind of stuff, I think they're going to be looking at it like, oh, wow, it's really great. So you got to check that out. And then we went to a restaurant this morning that first time I went there was 1980, and it's still there. It looks exactly the same. And the food is just as wonderful as what it is. Diner food.
Enormous.
It's diner food, yeah. But you've almost ate that whole.
I know. You know what?
French dip.
I'm not going to eat anymore today because I had a French dip that was huge. One part of it was good, but it tasted. It was the best French dip I think I've ever had.
So good.
So I finished it. So I think I'm done for the day.
Yes, and then later it's not quite like Chinese food, but then I had an omelet. I can't remember
Gigantic
what kind.
omelet.
Yeah, it was a very big omelet. It was great
and
with
a big thing of hash browns.
Oh, and they were crispy on top. They were perfectly crispy on top. It was so great. And then I put red pepper flakes on something, and I must have spilled a couple of them in my lap because I took my paper napkin to blow my nose, and I blew a red pepper flake right up. I swear to you, right up into my eye. So I spent the rest of breakfast like this, like
that was bad.
Oh my gosh. But it was really great. It's called the Pepper Mill. It's right on the Strip. I did a post about it. If you go back and look through Facebook, you'll see a post about it. It has the address and everything. It's open 24 hours a day, and it's been open since 1972, I think. I think it said, 1972. So there are some really fun things to do. And it started to get packed for lunch. We were there kind of in between breakfast and lunch, because we're still. I switched, but Dee Dee's still on East Coast time. And
I woke up at 5 this morning, but that's 8 o'clock back home. So I can never
buy into any of that.
I can't get off East Coast time. I just can't. I don't know when. That's my internal clock. So when we're out west, I'm up. And even back east, I'm up early, but here for sure.
Yeah.
Their time.
Got up and ran this morning.
I walked.
It was great. Mm-hmm. Yeah. You got to start. The only way you can. How are you doing on your New Year's resolution? I think it's some crazy thing like 90% of New Year's resolutions have to do with diet and exercise. Mm-hmm. So if you made one of those, how are you doing? Huh? Be honest. Be honest. Nobody's making you stop. And only you can make you start. So come on, do it. I'm still doing my electric suit.
Look at those muscles.
Check that out.
They're huge.
Ow. No, it doesn't hurt. Feels like my head. It's funny. So I'm still doing the electric suit. I'm still jogging. Well, yeah, I jogged yesterday and I jogged this morning. So I try to jog a little bit every morning. Not very far. Sadly, my watch told me the truth. It was 1.6 miles. That was it. But it's better than not jogging.
We took a car back, but we did walk to dinner both nights.
Yep.
We were able to do that. So that was good. And I walked some this morning. I'm not doing as well as you, but I'm going to work on it.
You're doing
great. Better. Thank you.
Great.
But you're doing all of it. The electrocution suit and the running. And
working on Earls of Perry. Working on
John's writing.
Yeah, it's been great. Working on just kind of polishing a script called Facing Koufax that we're talking about doing maybe this summer. I don't know. But we got a lot of work to do with Earls of Perry. But once we get started with that, it's not going to be that difficult. Mm-hmm. But we have to get through location scouting. We have to do casting. We have to do all kinds of stuff. But then once all the preliminary work is done, boom, that's going to be pretty easy, because that's very much like Dukes. It's also very much like Christmas Cars and Stand on It and Poker Run. So those things I know how to do those. I know how to do Southern horsepower comedy, by golly. And we just talked. Dee Dee talked to someone in Hazard, Kentucky, yesterday.
Yeah, I don't think we can get into the details, but we're talking.
Well, we don't know the details.
Yeah, we don't know them yet.
We want to help out. We want to help out some way.
So we'll see what happens with that. Mm-hmm. So we've got a lot of things brewing. We're trying to kind of go quality, not quantity. Things that really make sense, and we're looking at it, and it's fun. It's fun to be able to pick and choose, because you're so talented. There are so many things that can be done. It's true.
It'll be great. There's a guy parked down the park here and he's got a beautiful blue uh, 392, I think. Forgive me if that's wrong, but it's a Challenger, beautiful Challenger. Uh, and I happen to have one of the T-shirts from the store. By the way, go to the store, check it out, johnschneider.shop. If you haven't been there yet, Tony will put that up right there, johnschneider.shop. Ooh, that tickles. But I had a T-shirt made a couple years ago when Poker Run came out that said Mopar because everything else just sucks. Well, I had the Mopar no car, but this one says Mopar because everything else just sucks.
Well, I don't agree with
So
that.
I put, I know you don't, but
I love Fords.
it's my shirt, it's my car,
That's true.
so
That's
I'll
fine.
do what I want.
So I'm sure the Mopar guy loves it.
Well, he had a Ford truck sitting next to it, but yeah. So I thought, yeah, I'm going to give him that shirt. So I went down and they weren't home. So I just put it on their little fence, and now it's gone. So I bet you we'll see him
Wearing it.
We'll see him wearing it, right? Driving the beautiful blue. Gosh, it's like a B5 blue. We used to call it. Gorgeous car. So that's going to be fun. And of course, the car in Earls of Perry is going to be a Challenger, and it's probably going to be an orange Challenger with a number on the side. Could happen. And a flag of some sort on the top, and the car has a name. So it's going to be pretty great.
I'm sure it will be. So
the General Jackson, I had to say it, had to tell you. The General Jackson, how about that? And what's my name? Stonewall, Uncle Stonewall. So it's going to be a lot of fun. I can't wait for you guys and girls to see that. I think you're really, really going to love it. Yes.
So taking the time to come out west and write and rest and be creative and just kind of have our little oasis of creativity and fun and rest.
Yeah, it's time to rest just a little bit, you know. So that's what we're doing. It's lovely here. I mean, you can see it's lovely here, and we get to watch the news every day.
Always something.
And see fun stuff.
Always something.
Fun stuff. What is it? What is
Not
it?
every. Name? There's no joy for joy. I'll leave it.
No joy for joy.
But there's joy for a lot of people.
Joy for a lot of people who had to somehow endure watching her on television. But yeah, so that mean,
host,
nasty, vindictive host is gone. And of course, she's blaming it on race, right? Yeah, why not? Of course, had nothing to do with failing ratings. Had nothing to do with the fact that she insulted over 75% of the people. You know, so it had nothing to do with that. Had nothing to do with talent or skill or popularity. It just must be race. So, you know, she's going to go out and start something else that tens and tens of people can watch or millions of people can ignore, kind of like they've ignored her for the last couple of years, months at least. I mean, she probably did well at some point, right? I mean, they like that sort of nasty,
the show.
vitriolic tirade. How is The View still on?
I don't know.
Does anybody, show of hands, anybody watch The View? Come on, anybody? No, I don't see any hands. Don't see any hands up. No. Whoopi, sit down. I wasn't talking to you.
Well, you know, they must be, you know, all of the channels and networks, you know, they have to be reevaluating because the country overwhelmingly voted for President Trump, and he got the majority because I always complain because many times you win the Electoral College and not the majority, but he won the majority too. He just won big time. So they have to evaluate and they need to adjust. So that's what they're doing. They're having terrible growing pains. And
they're being so stupid.
Got ousted.
She got ousted, yeah. But what about this judge? This he's not what the heck is he? A district judge that is now
so many judges. They try to
said that Trump. I'm looking at the wrong spot. Now said that Trump has no right. President Trump has no right to fire these people in USAID and all this. Well, of course he does. He has every right to. It's part of the executive branch. He's the chief executive officer of the United States of America, and some judge somewhere who wants to get his name in the paper is just making a fool of himself. It's ridiculous. This is the president. You just go ahead, sue the president. Sue the president for firing excess weight. That's what he promised he was going to do. And by the way, it's what Obama promised he was going to do. It's what Clinton promised he was going to do. And it's what Biden promised that he was going to do, both when he was with Obama and when he was on his own. So how come it's okay for them to promise they're going to get rid of the fat? And, and by the way, if people don't want to be audited, and if they revolt against being audited, you know what that means, America, and we're going to get to the bottom of it. That's what Obama said. Okay, so Trump is actually doing it. But now it's, oh, no, this is a violation of our rights, and we don't want these people to have our social security numbers. No, it's okay that PayPal already has it. And by the way, Elon owned PayPal, so if he wants your social security number, he's probably got it. And you give it to the library, and you give it to the DMV, you give it to all these different people. So why is it you trust them with your personal and private information?
Between Elon Musk, he is very, 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 very rich, obviously.
And he didn't get that way because he's dumb,
And,
AOC.
Right, well, that was
What
ridiculous.
a moron.
That was
My
ridiculous. So, he's doing it because it's the right thing to do, because he feels like he's making a difference. Where you look at all these members of Congress, and their net worth is like $19 million, $20 million, $6 million, whatever. That's a ton of money.
And Obama's over $100 million.
When you make 100,000 plus, whatever it is, and it's like, well, how did you get all that money? Well, clearly, kickbacks of some sort, and that is highly illegal.
Somewhere.
So we'll see what happens. But
or tips.
Yeah.
I bet they don't want tax on those tips.
Speaking of which, being in Vegas, we had the wonderful lunch. And then we walked over to the Fontainebleau, which
beautiful,
is new and fabulous. The Fontainebleau is officially fabulous.
It is maybe a year old, but my God, it looked like they opened it this morning.
Oh yeah, it just smelled new, and everything was sparkly and lots of crystal. It was just lovely. So we gambled a little bit. I'm a very conservative gambler. As soon as I win, I stop. As soon as I win something, if I'm over like the $10 I put in, if I win 12, I'm done.
You won like $300.
I know I did.
Penny slot machine.
But
how do you win $300 in a penny slot machine?
You can. People do it. I did.
Oh, you did. I just saw you do it.
So, and John, you were playing too. You won. You won $100.
I did. I won $100 in blackjack, but that was great. You got to think about it like a
fun.
I'm going to get mail for this, but you got to change your mindset. Not everybody, most of the people I talk to. No, I'm going to take that back. Everybody I talk to who loses in Vegas goes to Vegas with a mindset of how much they're willing to lose. And guess what they lose? At least that, if not a little more. So I'm saying that if you change your mindset and say, all right, this is how much I'm going to win and no more. Guess what you'll do? Probably you will win that and maybe a little more. Just stop. Like she said, stop.
Yeah, I just stop. As soon as I'm up, I stop.
Yeah, at some point you're up.
So at some point you really are.
Be happy, tip your dealer, and then get up and go look around the pretty casino and cash out, and then go back and do it again if you want. Treat each one like a different, a separate time, and then you can treat a casino like an ATM.
Well, what I enjoyed,
you know what that's going to do? I'm going to get my ass so kicked next time I go back. I'm sorry. Go ahead. No, I'm not. I'm going to win $200 next time.
You will. So what was fun for me, though, is when we were walking around, John went to the bathroom, I'm just standing there, and two employees, they're like, nice hat.
Oh, it happened?
Nice hat.
It happened at the restaurant, too?
Yeah, it happened in the restaurant, too. But yeah.
The boss lady at the restaurant said, love your hat.
Yeah, nice hat. So it was great, So I think people really get it, and they're excited about President
Trump. Well, especially here, because tips are a big part of existence here in Vegas. Well, everywhere, really. So what a wonderful thing that is. And I haven't found anybody who has a problem with that yet. But my God, they're having problems with other things. I am so looking forward to Adam Schiff getting
something.
We'll
see what happens.
Examined. Getting a full-blown TSA cavity search. Find out what in the world that sucker's been doing.
Well, for sure.
Would that be nice?
They certainly didn't want Kash Patel to get in. And I'm like, boy, they really don't like this guy. Well, he is going.
Gee, I wonder why.
He is going forward, and he is going to root out the corruption. And I think it's just such an all-star team that President Trump's put together.
Now, Dan, I always say it wrong. Bongino.
I thought it was Dan. Is it Dan or Don?
Dan.
Dan. I think it's Dan Bongino.
Yeah,
I think that's
what I said.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. I want to make sure.
That's what I said. Oh,
That is
there's
what
that
he said.
guy.
I don't know. We have a guy that somehow we blocked him, and he's really crazy. And he says all these crazy things, and then we'll touch upon scammers again. Just don't
Trying to block
believe any scammers. Just even this morning, I feel like they went and made a big wave of like, a big assault to all your followers. And, just from smart people. These are not people that, wouldn't pay attention. They said, did John send me a friend request? And I'm like, no, he doesn't.
I can't
do
even get into my Facebook today.
Yeah,
I had to do my
Facebook,
post about
Yeah.
Peppermill from Dee Dee's phone.
Yeah. So I think, I mean, the scammers, they try to break into the accounts and then act like John, and they use AI to sound like John. And folks, John is not sending you a message. He's not saying join a club,
No,
buy a card, go to Telegram. He doesn't do that. Doesn't
Nope.
have time. He
I
will
say, here's my
comment.
store. Go check it out and buy something.
He will comment here and there.
Or follow us on Facebook. Follow, click the
Like
follow
within
button.
the comments, that's where it gets messed up. But other than a post, here and there, he will make a comment like, "Oh, that's great," or "Yeah, I
Oh
agree."
yeah, or
That's it.
if you say
That's
something
it.
mean to me, I'll say something mean
Right.
right back. But I'm
But
not
he's
going
never
to
gonna
say,
ask for anything. Ever.
yeah, hey, beautiful, check out my Instagram, or come find me
And
on
then they have
Telegram.
posts like John saying, "Oh, I'm so sad, honey. Why don't you give me a?" I'm like, really, people, really? That is so stupid. I mean, but they just are relentless. So I get it, and it's just,
That's what they do for a living.
Yeah,
They
that's what they
steal
do.
for a living.
There's a shack in
They're
Bangladesh.
professionals. There's a shack
John
in
Schneider,
Bangladesh.
Mel Gibson,
Toby Keith, right?
Brad
Toby,
Pitt,
I'm sure, is still sending things out.
like all that. So I mean, and it's such a scam. But John does not do that. So just know it's always a scam.
No, that's
Always.
true. I do.
Crazy.
I do post a lot on X now. I actually answer a lot of not questions, but I will comment a lot on X. That's been a lot of fun.
Well, those are
Boy.
people that disagree with John, and he just kind of gets under their skin. He likes doing that. But there's never a request for money or a card or a club to join or whatever.
No, but I will
Never.
send you to the store. That's it. That's all I'll do.
That's it.
And even to the point where, like, there's folks. There are things we'd love to help the folks in Kentucky, but we would never post something say, "Hey, donate to this cause," because I don't know if it's real. So we have to vet those things out.
Mm-hmm.
But with us, we'd rather just show up and do something. Show up and help out some way, and that's what we're going to try to do here in the next couple of weeks or the next month or so.
Or at least get a.
We'll let you know more about
try.
that. Yeah.
But you have to have someone on the ground to make that work, and if that doesn't happen, we'll just work on something else. But our heart's in the right place there. We'd like to try to help the folks in Hazard, because remember they had a big flood not long ago. Well, I don't know, a year or two, and that was bad. They still had not fully recovered from that.
So no, that wasn't a year ago, because it's the day we got that. Remember?
Well, maybe.
Hazard, you're talking about the one in Ashland, and we're on the way to
No, I'm talking about like a year or two ago.
Okay.
No, they had another flood where a lot of people died. It was bad. No, that they still have not really truly recovered from. That was what our folks on the ground said. So to have this on top of that, and then the next day it was so cold. Everyone got the cold front. What a disaster!
Oh my gosh, yeah.
People, a lot of people have suffered with the weather. But that's just because we're wanting to shoot a show there and want to get to know folks, and we feel for them, and obviously. Yep. The folks in North Carolina that were living in tents and East Tennessee, and then the fire victims. So a lot of people have had some bad luck. So we'll just try to help in our own little way, and hopefully you all can as well.
Yeah, but check out who you're trying to help them through. Really check them out. Try to get a second opinion if you can. Because, a lot of people, they will chase down natural disasters and set things pointing to something that sounds very altruistic and wonderful. And then you wind up giving some scammer your hard-earned money because your heart's in the right place. They're counting on that. They're counting on
they use AI.
On them. God knows, God is
your
paying attention.
Voice, it's other, they use the real voice because it's AI, it's artificial, but it sounds real. And they're like, oh, it's got to be John. And they're wanting to believe that, or Brad Pitt, or, another celebrity. and then they scam them out of money. It's terrible. Scam them out of money, or money that's supposed to go to flood victims or fire victims.
Yep. I
But
mean, my gosh, if you imagine that what USAID has done
it's terrible.
to scam people out of money, us out of our money, taxpayers out of their money, Social Security recipients out of their money, deceased Social Security
And the 300-year-old
continued
vampires.
recipients out of their money. That money's going somewhere, right?
Total scam.
If the government can do it and sleep at night, and that is my assumption because that's everything that I'm hearing. In fact, I've not heard anything from the left saying, "Oh, no, 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 that's not true." They will argue about the numbers, but they won't argue about the reality. And that kind of goes back to 2020 when they said, yes, there was, we did discover fraud in the 2020 election, but not enough to make any difference. Okay. Well, how much fraud is okay in your household? So how much fraud is okay with USAID or Social Security or the IRS, who were, armed and perfectly willing to come and take your money by gunpoint so that they could send it to needy people worldwide and keep who knows how much of it, half of it maybe themselves.
You're still saying Haiti, the folks in Haiti only got 2%. 2%? And that is a very needy, poor country.
Yeah.
They need the help. They have disasters there, and it's already a disaster to begin with.
And then when the Doge first started, they find, I don't know, 400, 500, 600 million. I mean, right away, finally.
Right away.
$500 million. No, I'm sorry, $500 billion in graft or in unaccounted for money. Or one thing, I think it was close to $1 trillion. And what was the left's response to that? Well, that's only 1% or 2% of our national, our yearly budget. Oh, okay.
And then what about the Democrat, the member of Congress?
But they want your $500 in tax money, and they want it frickin' right now.
That's right. And then the member. Oh well, I don't know why you give out $5,000. Five grand's not going to make difference.
Please fire her.
I want $5,000. $5,000.
Yeah, what are they going to do with $5,000?
You can do it $5,000.
Come on. Talk about being out of touch.
That makes a difference in everybody's lives. In some people's lives, it makes a huge difference. In others, it's just a nice.
I mean, you could get a tank of gas and 2 dozen eggs for that.
In California.
In California.
Oh, by the way, wasn't it great what President Trump did in New York?
We were there the day they started that tax.
The congestion tax.
And
we were living right there. I mean, while we were there, we were at 61st and Park. And was it 60th? I mean, we were right there on that borderline for the congestion tax, and it was very confusing anyway.
Yeah, I think we walked by the sign every night.
We walked by the sign every night.
Yeah, it had a big thing, and they had, I don't know, $1 million worth of things taking your license picture, and so they can bill you.
Right.
But it was right there, and so if we had driven to the theater, I think we'd have to pay the night. Well, he just went like that. He said no, because this is devastating. It's ridiculous. It's absurd, and it doesn't matter. But it's devastating to the restaurant business, the retail business, the bar business, and the theater business. Mm-hmm. It's devastating. It's because people are just saying, well, no. And so it was great for people 61st and up, or 60th and up, but terrible for people on the other side.
Because that's where Wall Street, and that's where the theater district, and that's where,
when we did our pictures in front of that great tavern, what's the name of that?
Francis Tavern?
Yeah, Francis Tavern.
Well, because when you get 61st and up, I mean, there are businesses there, but it's more residential. The business 60 and below, I mean, there are a lot of businesses at that point.
Yep. So he said, no. Isn't that great? Mm-hmm. I love that he can say that.
I know.
I love that he can do that.
He's so smart.
And he's not going to get any pushback from Eric Adams, that's for sure.
No.
Because,
the governor's trying to take him out. And the governor did this, Governor Holt, and I guess she went to the White House, and he's like, nope, not changing. Thank you for playing.
Yeah, thank you. Have a nice day. Mm-hmm. There's the title of this episode right there. Thank you. Have a nice day. But it's really been refreshing to watch the delight. You watch Tom Homan, he's having a ball. And I realize if you're an illegal alien taking advantage of the bribery of the Biden administration, then you're probably not very happy right now, but you're probably also not watching this show. But if you are somebody who is in an area where your crime is up and your homeless population is up, and you really are afraid to let your children play outside at night or cross the street, or you don't want your family to go to a restaurant and walk across a less than bright parking lot, then you're probably with us. You're probably thinking, this is really good, because these are some really bad people that are bad hombres that are being taken away. And what country is it that built they're like in the prison business now?
El Salvador.
El Salvador is in the prison business. Like, hey, we'll build this, we'll take them. So it's the only new, and there will be no tariffs, I think, on prisoners sent away. That's the only new business that I have not heard President Trump talking about, right? Because the world wants them. This is fascinating to me. The world wants those people.
Just like anything else.
Well, and apparently it's going to cost a whole lot less to house them,
right, to send them on their way
somewhere else than it will be to house them here.
Well, speaking of,
and I know there's a lot of stuff in the judicial, especially now. We're going to get to the bottom of that too. People in jail that should not be in jail. I understand that, but there's a lot of people in jail that should be in jail. And these folks who came from Venezuela and from different parts of the world who already have been convicted of heinous crimes, who got out so they could come here and do them again, those people need to go under the jail, and I don't care where the jail is.
Well, another issue, government entity that is, I don't know if it's controversial, but it is sentimental, it's the post office. So I love the post office. I know FedEx and UPS.
We love our postmen. We love our
post office in Madison. They're great. Mark and the guys and the gals, and they just, when we walk in, they're like, "What can we do?" They're fabulous. So I would hate for that to go away, but I get it because they're losing a lot of money. So I
don't think it's going to go away. It's just going to be taken. It's going to be redefined.
But they've talked about it. They can get someone in there to just fix it. So he can. He's a builder. I mean, my goodness, Trump, I don't know if it's still there or not. I think they maybe moved out of there, but the Trump the Trump building, Trump Hotel, was the old post office in Washington, D.C. I don't know if they're there anymore.
It was
beautiful.
Oh, wow.
I'm sure it's still beautiful. We've got to get to D.C.
Oh, like Union Station.
Very beautiful, yeah.
So pretty.
But the post office is another one of those entities that would lose tons of money, so I would rather not go away.
Billions of dollars a year.
But a lot of these little bitty towns, and believe me, I love small towns. I grew up in one. I was born in a very small one. That was kind of fun because whenever I called Perry County, about hazard, and they're like, "What's your maiden name?" And my family name, the name I was born with, is quite prevalent in that area. They go, "Oh, okay, yeah, well, you're welcome then," because
notorious.
Said, you must have lots of cousins here. I'm like, yeah, I do. So
they were like, "Oh, you're one of those."
Yeah.
Okay. How can we help you?
How can we help you? Yeah, but they're lovely, and it's so the post office. I prefer to keep it and have it fixed instead of doing away with it. So we'll see what happens.
They're not going to do away with the post office. What they're going to do is they said that there are multi-million-dollar facilities in little towns that really don't need them, because there's a thing about putting a post office in every town everywhere. That made sense when there were, I'm going to make these numbers up, that made sense when there were 400 towns. But when there are 400,000 towns, and there's no reason why the folks from your hometown or from up where Hanover is can't come down to the beautiful post office.
Very sentimental about it. I remember that. Whenever they try to get rid of a post office, they go to the state rep, they go to state center, and everybody goes crazy. It's just
but if collectively, it's just a plain simple truth. If collectively they are losing billions of dollars a year, billions of dollars a year, you got to stop the bleeding. You just can't do that anymore. Okay.
They will.
So simple. It's not simple to fix it, but it's simple to make the decision. Okay, this has to be fixed. And then you surround yourself with people who have a history of fixing broken
They do.
businesses and broken business
And it needs
models,
to be run
and
like
you
a
fix
business,
it.
not a government entity.
Yeah, you
And
fix
as
it.
long as
Look
it's
at,
run
look at
that way,
Federal
it'll be fine.
Express. Federal Express is amazing.
I know, but that's the thing. We're talking about maybe just turning on the FedEx or UPS. I'd rather
No, that'll never happen.
I'd rather keep the post office. But fix it.
They'll
I
never
love
do
the
that.
post office.
No, we have
I'm
no.
one of those. But I do understand where you can't have a post office in a place that has population 412. They can go to the next town.
Yeah, I would think so. I would think so. But if it's losing billions of dollars a year,
it's losing a lot of
and
money.
of course not your individual small town post. I'm from a small town too. My post office did not lose billions of dollars a year, but it probably loses thousands of dollars a year.
But
But
altogether,
you
all those
combine
little
that to all the,
it's a
all,
lot
yeah,
of
so
money.
you got a problem. So somebody has to fix it. And I'm delighted that we have an administration that actually goes in, and thank God for Elon and the whole gang, who are just going in and immediately. I would love to know what program they're using, because they go in and in a day they go, oh well, here's what about this $1 trillion? Oh, we don't know. We didn't. We didn't categorize that $1 trillion.
And he's got this group of young guns, and one of them is called Big Balls. That's just his name or nickname. They call him Big Balls. So the liberals were picking on Big Balls. He's like this little kid, right? I mean, they're all young. They're all in their 20s, but, as like we've shared on the show before, isn't it? They call him Big Balls. And the liberals were going nuts. They were going after Big Balls.
They're going nuts for Big Balls. That's funny.
Even make this stuff up. It is nuts. Nuts. Get it? So anyway, and we mentioned this, I think, on the last show, that the founding fathers were all like, Madison, and they're all like 24, 26, 27, 32. They were all young. There's nothing wrong with that age to be a leader. I mean, that's great. They're just super duper smart. Elon Musk, he's going to bring in the best of the best. So he's having them work on it. And they're getting it done like that. They're geniuses, including Big Balls. So leave Big Balls alone. He's okay. He's doing a good job.
Leave Big Balls alone.
I can't make it up.
I love it. And
I bet most of you are friends and viewers know that. I mean, but that is true. I mean, they were just picking on Big Balls.
By the way, if you're watching,
he's getting the job done. We love Big Balls.
If you're watching this and you have not yet hit the follow button on my Facebook page or subscribed to the YouTube channel, please do that right now. We'll wait. All right, we don't have to get to the key change, but if there's not a decidedly different number, next podcast, we're going to whistle that, and we're going to get to the key change. We'll wait.
Well, speaking of which, because I'm thinking key change.
Speaking of what, Jeopardy?
No, because...
Speaking of key change?
I know what you were meaning.
Whistling?
But it made me think of key chains. So I wanted to ask our friends, what would you like to see in the store? Is there anything... Somebody
actually... You said key chains?
I did. Because you said key chains like the...
Okay.
I know what you meant.
All right.
But it made me think
That's
of
pretty
key
good.
chains. Merchandise. Because we're thinking...
That's pretty good.
We need to add some things or make it kind of fun. Obviously we're working on...
Got the belt buckle. Belt buckle's really cool.
They're beautiful.
The new belt... It's
really
a copy of my belt buckle from Duke's. It's got the sand dollar, turquoise-looking sand dollar things on it. In fact, there's a picture of it right here. There's a picture of the belt.
I mean, I saw the
it's
picture.
Great. I don't have the belt yet. We're looking for the right belt. This is just a buckle.
We saw the belt buckle in person, or in whatever you call. We saw the actual belt buckle.
Well, yeah, it's at
it's
one
gorgeous.
of them.
It's gorgeous.
It's at Graceland. Graceland.
Yeah, but at the show, because Luke sent the actual belt buckles, we had not.
Oh yeah. I see. Yeah, they're fantastic. They're really, really nice.
So
check that out.
They are worth it.
There's pictures and movies and music and all kinds of stuff. Check out the movie. If you haven't seen Stand On It or Poker Run, come on. If you're a Smoking the Bandit fan, check those out. They're so much fun, and they're going to get you ready for Earls of Perry.
But actually, there have been a lot of Hallmark-like movies. I had no idea you'd done.
Yeah, but I don't have those. I don't have it. I can't offer those for sale.
Yeah, but we were talking about maybe buying them wholesale and selling them. We can do that.
It's a pain in the ass.
Well, Not for you though. It's a pain in the ass for Luke. And Luke said he's
He'll
the
do
one,
it.
he's the one who brought it up and said, they're asking for a lot of Hallmark movies, and that's lovely. And I can't get into the details, but there's a Hallmark esque movie. They want John to be in it. There are no details. Can't go there. Also, don't you hate it when people say, "Well, something's great coming up, but I can't tell you about it"?
Why are you saying that then?
I don't know because I'm thinking, if we talk
They hate
about
that.
it,
I hate that. I don't
it'll
like
just
that.
happen. Well, if it happens, it'll be fabulous. So, anyway,
Is this thing grown or what?
it looks like it grew in a week, like a full-grown beard. And there's always a controversy about it, and there's always a discussion about it. Some love it, some hate it. Some love the long hair, short hair. Some like the combo of no. It's like
Can't
every
have long
day.
hair and short hair.
Every day, no combo of like no beard and long hair, or short hair and a beard. It's crazy. It's like its own channel. That should be its own YouTube channel.
The hair
John's
channel.
hair.
But it's
John's
for
hair. John's
right
hair.
now. It's for Earls of Perry, and because I want to be this kind of, I want to look like this in Earls of Perry, a little bit more on the beard, and we're not sure when we're going to shoot that. So I need to be ready to shoot that
My hazard's a
at
mess.
pretty
right now.
much any time. At pretty much any time. No, I know that, but
So we're checking it all out. A lot of things are brewing.
well, we can't do. I mean, we haven't done any. We haven't shot a movie, so ain't got nothing to do with quantity at this point.
Well, we've had a lot of scripts come in. They've not been good
No,
enough.
they're my scripts. I want to shoot my scripts.
Well,
We just
there's
have
that.
to. We have to get through the winter, and then both. Well, one of them is cross country,
Yeah, that's good.
so we're going to
No,
have
that's
that
what I
one
mean.
budgeted,
It's
and I
not
think we're
like
gonna
you know,
we're gonna
it's
do
just
that.
we're working on it. I mean, you want it to be quality. You want to put the time into it.
Well,
instead
I've
of
never been into
everybody.
quantity, not quality, so I don't know why. Never been into that.
What do you
So
mean?
I've never been into. Oh, let's just make a movie for the hell of it. No, it's always quality. I believe it's always been quality.
Okay.
Yeah, I love. You know what I love is I love people who have never made a movie who have some criticism of To Die For.
I'm not criticizing. I just
I'm
want
not
to be
talking
clear.
to you.
No,
I'm not
no, but
talking
let me
about
clarify because people get really mean and like saying, "Oh, yeah, credit." No, that was before me. I'm just saying at this point,
you. No,
together,
nobody's really criticizing.
we
Only
want.
people.
No, I was not criticizing.
No, I know, but
A
it
lot
wasn't
of people
before
do
you.
though.
No, nobody. Well,
No, but my point
most
is,
people didn't either.
there were some people saying, "Let's do a movie. Let's do that. Whatever." There are a lot of things percolating, so don't worry, it's coming. But John is just so wonderful and so talented. You just want to do best of the best and working on that. So it's all going to come. So stuff to look forward to, just so you know.
Yep, but there'll be cars in both the ones that are on the. I would say they're on the front burners
They
right
are.
now. One's a little closer to the front because it's a little easier to do. But it's really going to be great, and it'll be. Facing Koufax is not a comedy. Facing Koufax is kind of a look back to a movie, kind of like Vanishing Point. So that's going to be really great. That's going to be a pretty big movie to shoot. But it's cars and going down the road and going cross country. So the only difficult part about that is that we go through several states, and that may be that'll be fun, And part of me just wants to go out like we would have done in the old days, and just go shoot the damn thing, right? Just go
Guerrilla
shoot it.
shooting.
Well, yeah, and haul ass through town at about 130 miles an hour and have them say, "What was that?" And then, then apologize later. I don't know. I mean, if we go that fast, we obviously have to have permission. But I really, when you watch movies like Vanishing Point, Dirty Mary, Crazy Larry, you can tell the 7-Ups. Oh my God, Bullet. You can tell that these folks were moving. There's a certain look that a car has when it's going over just the tiniest little rut in a road. When it's going 80, it kind of sticks to the road. When it's going 120, it kind of skips those. It flattens the hills, dare I say, because you are going so fast that the upward momentum of one little hill keeps you up long enough that you kind of ignore it. It's just amazing. Especially, I think, in Dirty Mary, Crazy Larry. And that's a 69 Charger as well. So when you watch that movie, you can see, my God, these people are hauling butt. That's what I want in these movies. Now, on Dukes, we were going fast. We were going fast on dirt roads And I tell you, 50 miles an hour on a dirt road is kind of like 100 miles an hour on a paved road. So we were never really going that fast.
But you know what's
except
cute?
when they hit ramps, they had to be going 80, 90. I think when Alan hit the ramp to do Carnival of Thrills, when he jumped over the 32 parked cars, I think he was going close to 100 miles an hour when he hit it.
But do you know, whenever you said there's something about Dukes of Hazzard that is so, I hate to use the word cute, but I'm just going to. Whenever you're in the car and you can tell it's fake, you can tell you're just kind of moving along. But it looks so good. It just works. It just works for Dukes of Hazzard. I love that look because you're in a car, you're there with Tom, and it's kind of just doing this.
Yeah, we were in front
And
of a
John
screen
said that they had like
most of the time.
like a wooden thing.
A guy with a 2x4, yeah.
But
Guy with a 2x4 and an
so
apple
great.
box.
I thought it looked so. I loved it.
And an effects fan, which is just a fancy word for a fan blowing, puffing dirt into it.
But it looked great, and it worked for
It was
Dukes of
part of
Hazzard.
the charm of the show.
It's very charming.
Now we also didn't do that. We also had cameras attached. It was a mixture, and I did that in Stand On It and Poker Run, where I did green screen. We didn't do green screen in Dukes of Hazzard. What we did in Dukes is we had basically a screen behind us that showed a movie. We call it a plate shot. It was a plate shot, and they filmed the plates either out of the back of a truck or the side of the truck, depending on what you were shooting. If we're driving like this, you see what's behind us. If we're driving like this, you see what's over there. So it all changed. What I've done is I do green screen stuff, which everybody does, and I find it to be a lot of fun because when I do that, and of course we're out there when you see the cars hauling butt going by the camera and driving around and jumping and all that, it's real. Somebody's doing it, and lately it's been me. James Smith did the jump over the river, over the Tickfaw River, and Stand On It. But the other jumps have been me. It's been a lot of fun. I've enjoyed it. But the stuff in the car has been kind of movie magic. Now, I did all that stuff, and I did a bunch of it in To Die For as well. And I enjoy it because when you do it with a car, you can pick your background later. Okay, are we going through the wooded countryside? Are we going through the desert? Are we going through town? We'll figure that out later.
We'll figure it out.
Boom, boom, we'll figure it out. So as you are building the story visually, if you've got a car going down the road and then a police car chasing them down the road, when you see them, imagine they just went by a water tower in the car I'm in being chased. Then when you cut to the police officer, then he ought to go by the same water tower. Trying to coordinate that like we used to do back in the 70s and 80s in the movies, not in Dukes, but in the 70s and 80s, that was hard. And when we used the screen, the process screen behind us on Dukes, we still had to coordinate it because sometimes you saw Roscoe and Enos back there behind us. And if Roscoe was behind us and then Enos was behind him, when you were looking at us, Tom and I, you'd see two police cars, but when you were looking at Roscoe, you'd see one police car, and when you were looking at Enos, you'd see no police cars. It's just, But if you do green screen, you can magically do all that later. So there. I'm going to take another green screen class. That changes and changes and changes.
Yeah, there's people that they get on
Some
your
people,
page,
it's all they do.
and they're like,
Or
"Oh,
they've never done it
sucks."
before at all.
Well, no, it was a great movie, And before, when I was saying quality and not quantity, I'm saying we're just taking a look at everything and picking and choosing and having fun doing it, just taking a little time doing it. I think John's movies have been incredible, and I think it's really rude when people get on his page. This is John Schneider's page. If you don't like it, move on.
Right.
If they're saying, "No, your movie sucks," and the green screen,
the green screen,
but most love it. You always have some mean or naysayers. I want to criticize everything, and they're very unhappy in their lives.
Yeah.
Too bad, and we're sorry about that. But if you don't like John's page, you don't like how he does movies,
move, go away.
Like someone else. Go to Martin Scorsese's page. Oh, he
There
probably
you
doesn't
go.
have a page.
Probably doesn't, but he does shoot green screen.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
Let's talk a little bit about Eric Estrada.
We have 10 minutes. Oh, Eric Estrada.
I'm going to give Eric a couple minutes. This guy is so fun and funny and great. Oh my gosh, I can't even tell you. It's been such a joy to get
He
to
is a
know
Puerto
him.
Rican Al Pacino.
He is. He is so much fun.
And you
And so
don't see
great.
him, when he's
Oh
Eric,
my
he's all
gosh.
like this. But when he's telling a story
Oh.
about somebody, he gets all, like a Pacino's like, he gets all, oh, that's a terrible picture, but he's all,
So when we
oh
started
my
out,
God, he's wonderful.
oh, he's so wonderful. So we started out with the the Hot Wheels show, and we're all in Trump Tower, and that was actually Eric's doing because he didn't want to be in a casino. Because if you're a celebrity, you go through a casino, it takes an hour to get through it because everyone's stopping you, and there are people everywhere. So it was a good move, and we all love Trump, so we enjoyed it. So we started out with Catherine Bach, Daisy Duke, and Eric Estrada, Ponch. I don't remember his last name on the show. John, of course.
Poncherello.
And me, and I'm just enjoying all the company with all the stories and everything. And what a great group.
Well, Eric and I went to the same gym. We went to Vince's gym.
He's so funny.
Way back when. So we both love this guy, Vince Duranda. Yeah, and Eric
He
is
looks exactly the same.
Eric and Tom are the same age. Yeah, so pretty great, pretty amazing. And it was just delightful. So doing that show with Eric, and we spent a little time with Larry. Spent a lot of time with Catherine.
Sweet.
Catherine was great.
Yeah.
Catherine was great. But again,
and we can't talk about it, but we've got a project night. Well, yeah, we'll get back to that.
My God, Tom.
But can't wait to make an announcement for next month. Can't do it yet. Don't hate me. But we will as soon as we can.
But you said you hated it when people do that.
I do, but I can't help myself.
Now.
No, I did it twice.
Oh, okay.
There were two things.
So,
twice. But Tom Wopat is so funny. I never thought I'd see it. And I had to thank him at the end of the night. I said, thank you for getting me through this long dinner. And it's not bad. It was just long. And it wasn't like we weren't in that industry.
We have,
you are, but
Tom and I have this thing where we've spent so much time, and we've had this from the very beginning. It's really kind of weird. From the very beginning, we've finished each other's sentences. We've thought each other's thoughts. But we've spent so much time together. When somebody says something that triggers a joke, that we know,
it goes on and on.
Somebody will say something, and Tom and I the other night, somebody said something about, I don't know, about Compton in California.
Oh,
and
gosh.
We both,
we
were like,
but they both knew it. And it was really off naughty.
And we said, we didn't tell the joke, and I'm not telling you the joke, but the joke starts with, where do, so we were listening, we're, paying attention, polite like that, and somebody said he was from Compton, and we went like, where do, at the same time, and then that was it. Bad. It's like there's the old joke where the people are in prison, and somebody yells out, 45, and everybody laughs, and it's great, and somebody else yells out, 73, and everybody laughs, and the new guy yells out, he says, 28, nothing. 28, nothing. And the guy he says to the guy in his cell, he said, what the hell? How come nobody's laughing at mine? He said, dude, some people just can't tell a joke. Mm-hmm. Anyhow, so Wopat and I did that twice that night. And then what was it?
Now, this was the craziest part. So
I took his keys.
John took the fob.
I took the key fob. Right,
we're playing. A rental car. It was a Range Rover. And he took it, and John threw it. And
I gave it back.
Water.
When I went to give it back, it went,
and it was a really loud plop.
And a glass of water.
Everywhere. I was like, oh my gosh. And he said, Schneider,
you owe me $300.
So then
Richie, who's with him,
who helps Tom,
took it apart. We didn't know this until later. He's like, cleans the whole thing out, makes it all nice, and then 20 minutes later or so,
just gets it out of the back along with everything else for some reason, and he plops.
You can do it. I can do it.
He threw it in there again, and it stayed there because Richie's like, you know what? He's on his own.
You're on your own now. But for some reason, he was pulling stuff out of his pocket.
All of it. He took it out like a Mary Poppins bag.
He went away, like Mary Poppins.
He was funny that night.
He went away to the restroom, and I took a steak that somebody hadn't eaten, and I kind of wiped it off. And when he came back, I put it.
Act like you put it in his pocket.
I just looked at Tom like that. And I looked at Tom and said, "Whoa, Pat!" What? Boom! And I threw it on the table
for no reason.
I don't know. That might be one of those things you had to be there, but I tell you. And Tom, funny. God, I love him. It's just so great. And he called the next morning. He says, was I a little too? I said, no, this
no
was
way.
Perfect.
Thank you, Tom.
Absolutely wonderful.
Without him, I would have been like, all right, I'm going to the casino.
Oh, and the sound system with
reverberate,
Yeah, there was something going on out for us in the crowd that the people up on stage couldn't
And Tom,
hear.
Tom
Tom
kept
went
going
up
up on
3 times and
stage
finally fixed
and
it.
trying to fix it, and then
Yeah.
he did fix it, and then he started playing on the guitar
Yeah.
with whomever was up there.
The
So
band, they had
he
a
was.
wonderful bluegrass band up there. It was really great.
It was
So
great.
it was a great time. I don't know that I don't know if it's a show you can just go to, but check it out. There's a this time of year in Vegas
Anybody could go to. It's
at the
public. I
Ahern.
think it was
I
public.
don't know because
Well,
there
I
was
don't know
only
if it's
so many.
always at the Ahern.
There was only like 300. There weren't that many tickets, so it wasn't a big venue,
It
but
was sold out.
but it was really great. And car people are just wonderful people, even little bitty car people. So if
Meaning like little
you want to
cars.
go back and be a kid again and check out your how it feels to get a new Matchbox, not Matchbox, pardon me, Hot Wheels. Matchbox, I think, was represented. How it feels to get a brand new Hot Wheels car. And by the way, they had a gold, a silver, well, it's kind of a gold orange, silver, and a pink for Kathy. They remanufactured the Hot Wheels General Lee, and yes, it has the
I didn't
number,
see that.
and yes, it has.
I didn't see
Yeah,
pink. There was a pink generally.
Yeah,
All
well, a
right.
little bitty. So, and the flag is on the top. It's the General Lee from Dukes of Hazzard, and those that's Deliverance.
I know, but I like that.
But that's not.
I like-
Do
I know.
not mix Deliverance with Dixie.
It's not Deliverance. It's
Again.
dueling banjos. I was just thinking of the banjo player and bluegrass, and also just so you all know,
By the way, why was it dueling banjos? There was a banjo and a guitar.
it was no, it was two banjos.
No, no,
I don't believe you.
I don't care.
I think it was two banjos, not.
No,
You know what I love about our friends that watch? They catch everything when we don't quite remember.
tell her
like,
she's
where
wrong.
Joe Biden was from. They're like, you all know like that.
Oh, he's from Scranton. He's from Scranton.
No, he's not. Oh yeah,
Well,
I
he
guess
says he
originally
is.
and then he's now.
Well, you're from where you're originally from. You
You
are from Erie, Kentucky.
I think it's two banjos. How can it be dueling banjos? You have.
I don't know. That's been a question of mine.
It doesn't mean there wasn't a guitar there, but I bet there are more than one banjo because it's called dueling, and I love that, and I love bluegrass. And by the way,
No, I think dueling with
there
a
is
banjo.
a magazine coming up that has something to do with that type of thing, and John is featured. He's going to have a picture on the front of the magazine, and Mr. Magazine cover. Those two magazine
weren't
covers
those great?
he did were beautiful. That
Franklin and Union Station. Oh shoot!
No,
No, I'm
something
sorry.
Station,
I'm sorry,
not
folks.
familiar, but it was beautiful. It was wonderful. Must be nice to be.
Station. I'm so sorry. I don't remember the name of that.
Must be
I
nice.
apologize.
Well, but you all will know. They'll know. They always do.
Yep.
They know everything.
No, it was wonderful.
But yeah, it must be nice to be a cover boy model
at the ripe old age of 64.
Pretty darn good.
Yeah, well.
When I'm 64. And pretty soon you're going to be 65.
2 minutes. Not in 2 minutes. I won't be 65 in 2 minutes, but it's really it's been great. It's been a wonderful week. We've enjoyed our time in Vegas with our friends here. We have not picked up a golf club yet, and we want to do that. Hopefully soon. I promised myself that I will finish the rewrite polish on Facing Koufax today. And by the way, it's not about baseball, but the Facing Koufax reference is about Sandy Koufax, who they said didn't really play baseball. He played his game. So you played against him in whatever game he was playing. And I relate that kind of to life. So in this horsepower, it's not a Southern horsepower comedy, but in this horsepower drama, it's about grabbing life by the short hairs and making it do what you want it to do. So I love that
have
movie.
A buzz cut. Anyway, the short hair is like a buzz cut. I just wanted to say
these.
I just wanted to
It's these.
It is.
Yes, it's those.
I just wanted to thank
Here,
those
I'll
of
grab
you
those and
who are so sweet and so supportive and so nice. We really appreciate it, and we read every comment.
1 minute.
Thank you. Any suggestions?
We don't read every comment. We try.
I do.
Oh, okay. Excellent.
So any suggestions for the store, anything you would like? I know one person was saying, oh, we really want knives, so we're going to bring those back. So for the store, and any ideas, we're going to do a vintage thing, where it's like we find old stuff and then just John will sign it and make it
Oh,
special.
like the calculator we found?
Yeah, we
Okay.
found a calculator.
Yep.
A
Oh, and
calculator.
we had some Smallville or Superman
Comic
comics
books.
with Jonathan Kent on the cover. Now it's not me because they're, it's just before Smallville, but we're going to have a couple of those, and we're thinking about putting a little section in the johnschneider.shop store so that for vintage items. And we're kind of on the fence. Should I sign this vintage comic book? Or will that ruin the value? I don't know.
I say yes, because that's a connection.
Yeah, but I'm not the only Jonathan Kent. I mean, I'm the only one that matters. Sorry, Kevin.
From the John Schneider, from your store.
Yeah, you go to
I say sign them.
KevinCostner.shop.
But we love your opinion.
You can get it with him signing the Jonathan Kent. Anyway, folks, we're glad that you were here. We're delighted to be part of your lives. We hope that you will click the follow button on Facebook and subscribe to the YouTube channel and go check out the stuff at johnschneider.shop. Enjoy what's happening in your life. Grab life by the short hairs.
Be grateful every morning. That's what we do.
Be grateful every morning.
And make your day wonderful. And we're going to be out west a while.
And however big you dream bigger. What's the point in having a small one? You take care. Yeehaw. What? Well, here. It's not kisses with John and Dee Dee.
Well, it's always good to have one or two.
Why not?
Drinks.
Bye.